All right, welcome back, Dr. Stevers, for another Behind Dr. Steve's Music BDSM. Coming at you with Stopping Before It Begins. Now, I like this song. I like all my songs, kind of, sometimes. Sometimes they're shit, other times I kind of like them. This song, I don't know, I kind of dig because, I don't know, it just goes on this little journey. It goes on this little journey musically. I like the lyrics that I chose. So I want to give a little bit of a behind the scenes on its genesis and some key aspects that I think are kind of cool about this particular song. Number one, Stopping Before It Begins. This actually, I had this came from I had a crush on somebody, and there was some with that crush. There were some reasons why we didn't want to maybe pursue that crush, as can often happens, right? Often, when we're talking to somebody, and there's all these reasons why we shouldn't keep going in this relationship. Some of those are based in facts, some of them are our own bullshit, some of them are our own patterns and such. But we can sometimes get in the way of ourselves pursuing that relationship a little prematurely. And certainly that can be the case in an intimate or romantic relationship, but it can also happen in other areas of life too, where maybe you want to go for that job promotion, but you engage in some stinking thinking that holds you back from engaging in that job promotion. And so you stop it before it even begins. Same thing in that relationship. You stop the relationship before it even had an opportunity to start. Or if you're learning a new skill, excuse me, you stop it before you even have an opportunity to learn the things. And we do that a lot in our lives. I think we kind of hold ourselves back and we fall short of achieving some of the goals, the relationships, the things that we want to do in life. And we stop them before they even really have an opportunity to start growing and being nurtured. So that's really what this song is about. And lyrically, particularly during the chorus, I tried to identify some lyrical phrases that really captures this feeling of like stopping something before it even has an opportunity to begin. So I envision there's this like energy that wants to go, like is able to go, that's capable of going, but it's being held back and has to be stopped. So some highlights, like a Corvette with the garage door down. So you could imagine just this Corvette with all this horsepower that's just wanting to run and go, but it's in a garage with the garage door down. And then so it can't go. It's not gonna go despite having the energy that it could go. Or a rescued dog that never leaves the pound. So here's this dog that's been rescued. It has this new lease on life, but then it never actually leaves the pound. And there's a few of these. A perfect voice that wouldn't ever sing. A perfect voice that wouldn't ever sing. So there's this like positive energy that's brewing, that's waiting, that's looking for something new, but it never has the opportunity to actually blossom. And so that's where a lot of those lyrics were coming from there, all serving this idea that sometimes as human beings, often as human beings really, we stop things before they even have an opportunity to begin. So that's kind of one piece that I wanted to bring up for the song. The other piece that I wanted to bring up, which is a little different than the other songs that I put out most recently, is the chords actually change from the verse to the chorus. So the verses have a particular chord structure, and the chorus has a particular chord structure, which is nice, and I think also helps the song to become a little less repetitive. It doesn't always have to be that case. I mean, there's certainly plenty of songs that are just the same three chords over and over and over again, and people use their vocals and their lyrics to change up the melody to make it interesting from part to part. But certainly when you change the chord progression between the verse and the chorus, that's going to produce some interesting change as well. And so I I don't know if I was more deliberate in doing that this time, but I definitely wanted to do that this time. And there's also a pretty noticeable change in kind of the melody and the style and even the tempo between the verses and the chorus. So, for instance, ain't it something that we say these things that we need? And it's just kind of this kind of basic strumming pattern. Pretty nice, pretty methodical, pretty melodic. But then when you get to the chorus, it picks it up a notch. Like a Corvette, rides door down, or rescue dog, never leaves the pound. So we go from to. That's a noticeable difference. That's a noticeable difference in the tempo and the melody between the verse and the chorus. That again, I think captures a little more intrigue, has a little bit more contrast that makes the song even more interesting. So those were a couple things that I wanted to point out. Again, I decided I just wanted to record it on my iPhone, and I did the exact same thing as my previous song, which was When I Ohm was just recorded right into the cell phone. I did that again. I just recorded right into the cell phone, dropped it into GarageBand, added some reverb, ambient, a little bit of a low cut, a little bit of a high cut, and bada bing, bada boom. And I think it sounds pretty good. Again, it has that kind of fullness to it and that open air, as though you're just sitting there listening to me live, probably because it's just a single track. Once again, it's just a single track. It's not a multi-track recording. So it probably sounds, hopefully it sounds to you, that you're just sitting across from me there in a chair, just listening to me with my guitar. That's the hope. So that's a little bit stopping before it begins. I'm gonna play it for you now. Again, one take, Jake. I don't know how it'll turn out. I'll probably mess it up. It's kind of a tough song to play and sing, especially for somebody like me who's still kind of growing here. Sometimes these songs are easier to just write than they are to actually perform. But we'll see how it shakes out. So without further ado, stopping before it begins. Ain't it something that we say these things that we need? Then fear creeps in, other forces impede, and we stop the challenge before we even get the prize, and we stutter through hellos while perfecting goodbyes. Like a Corvette, the garage door down, or rescue dog, never leaves the pound, or something lost, scared to be found in the wasteland, stopping before it begins. Like a soaring eagle can't flap its wings, or a perfect voice when it never sang on a long cold winter, never gets the spring in the wasteland, stopping before it begins. Don't spread it, don't sweat it, just acknowledge the pull. Take the life, grab the horns of a bull. Whether it's right or it's wrong, we can't always know. But to live a full life, it's here, you must show. Like a COVID, the garage door down on a rescue dog. Never leaves a pound on something long, here to be found in the wasteland. Stopping before it begins, like a soaring eagle can't flap its wings. Oh, a perfect boat, when it never sang all along cold winter. Never gets the spring in the wasteland, stopping before it begins. Like a COVID, the garage door down, oh, rescue dog. Never leaves the pound, or something that's lost. Never cared to be found in the wasteland, stopping before it begins. Like a soaring eagle that can't flap its wings. Oh, perfect voice, when it never sang all along cold wind. Never gets the spring in the wasteland. In the wasteland, stopping before it begins. There you go, stopping before it begins. New song, new behind Dr. Steve's music. Check it out on all your streaming services. Feel free to check out the website, drstevesmusic.com. Follow me on Instagram at Dr. Steve's Music. And if you feel so compelled, share a little bit of love, subscribe, send me some money, bake me a quiche, whatever you feel is right for you. Until next time, until next week, have a great week, everybody. Keep rocking.